What's up, YouTube? Smogdog949, the rap sheet hip hop, reporting live where the culture meets court, and the verdict is in. The sentence has been handed down. Tory Lanez is facing 10 years behind bars for the 2020 of Megan Thee Stallion, and for many, that's the end of the story, right? But in the legal world, a verdict is often just the end of chapter 1. The next chapter, the appeal. Today we are stripping away the celebrity drama and internet noise and conducting a fact-driven, unbiased deep dive into what a legal appeal actually looks like in a case like this. What are the real, legitimate grounds Tory Lanez's legal team could use to challenge his conviction? Is it a Hail Mary, or does he have a fighting chance? Allow me to break it down.
A fast-paced, visually charged breakdown of the collision between hip-hop culture and the American justice system, where bias, power, and perception shape destinies.
First, the most crucial thing that we need to understand is that an appeal is not a retrial. An appellate court will not re-examine the facts. They won't decide if they believe Megan or Tory. They won't look at new evidence. Their sole job is to look for legal errors made by the judge or the prosecution during the original trial. Think of it like instant replay in sports. The reviewers aren't watching the game to see who's played better. They're watching to see if the referee made a bad call that changed the outcome of the game. For Tory's team to win, they have to prove two things. A significant legal error occurred, and that error was harmful enough that it likely affected the jury's verdict. If the error is deemed, quote, harmless, the conviction stands. It's a very high bar and standard that needs to be met here. So, what legal errors will they look for? Well, the biggest battleground will likely be over evidence. The defense already signaled this in their motion for a new trial, which was denied before sentencing. A massive point of contention is the testimony of Kelsey Harris. Remember, on the stand, she claimed she couldn't remember many key details and walked back previous statements she'd made to prosecutors that incriminated Lanez. Because of her, quote, forgetfulness, the judge allowed prosecutors to play her entire recorded interview with police for the jury. The defense will likely argue this was a legal error. They might claim it violated hearsay rules or that the prejudicial impact of that recording outweighed its probative value. Another key piece of evidence, the jailhouse phone calls Tory made to Kelsey, where he apologized for everything, for, quote, everything. The defense argued that this was about sleeping with both women, not the shooting. The prosecution argued it was a confession. The judge let the jury decide. On appeal, the defense could argue this call was too ambiguous and unfairly prejudiced the jury against him. This is a very common ground for appeal. Remember, Tory changed his legal name right after the verdict, bringing in high-profile attorney Jose Baez. This move often sets the stage to argue that the, quote, original trial lawyer did a bad job. The argument here wouldn't be that the lawyer made a tactical mistake, but that their performance was so deficient it fell below professional standards and deprived Tory of a fair trial. This is known as the, quote, Strickland standard, and it is incredibly difficult to prove. Courts generally give trial lawyers a lot of leeway in their strategy, but his new team might scrutinize decisions made by the original counsel, like not calling certain witnesses, including Tory himself, or failing to object to specific pieces of evidence and argue it was constitutional incompetence. Finally, the defense will look at the behavior of the prosecutor and the rulings of the judge. In their motion for a new trial, Tory's team already argued that prosecutors improperly, quote, vouched for Megan's credibility during closing arguments and introduced evidence that had been previously excluded. They also argued the judge made errors in the jury's instructions. The appellate court will review the transcripts with a fine-toothed comb. Did the prosecutors cross a line? Did the judge give an instruction that confused the jury on the law? And again, the million-dollar question, even if there was a mistake, was it a, quote, harmless error that didn't change the final outcome? The reality is the statistics are not in Tory Lanez's favor. In California, the vast majority of criminal appeals are denied. The process is long. It can take years or more just to get the briefs filed and even longer for a decision. Tory Lanez's legal team has a steep mountain to climb. They have to convince a panel of judges that the trial wasn't just imperfect, but that it was fundamentally unfair due to specific legal mistakes. The trial may be over, but the legal examination of what happened in that courtroom is just beginning. We will have to wait and see which one of these legal threads his team decides to pull. Based on the legal grounds we just discussed, which argument do you think is the defense's strongest? Do you think any of the judge's rulings constitute a reversible error? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more fact-based legal analysis. Thank you. I'm SmogDog949 sounding off for the Rap Sheet Hip Hop. Peace.